What's up, guys, and welcome to the 8th episode of Holy Toledo, brought to you by On the Screws. Today is August 4th of 2020. I'm your host, Turner Givens, and with me, as always, well, not as always, but we're back together on this. We're going to do this one together, is Drew Messiker.
What up, guys? The team is back.
We are back. So we are rolling into a 3-game series with Arizona Diamondbacks. The Astros are coming in after a 2 out of 3 series win versus the Angels. And the Diamondbacks are coming in after losing 3 of 4 to the Dodgers. So they're on a little bit of a skid right now. Astros are towards the top of the standings. In the AL West, they're 5-4. And the Diamondbacks are at the very bottom of the NL West at 3-7. Another difference there, too, is the offense production. So we've been talking about how the offensive production by the Astros hasn't been fantastic. But if you look at their stats, they are 6th in batting average. I think it's 254. And they are towards the top in runs scored. But the problem is their runners in scoring position average is awful. And I know you've seen the same thing, Drew, is they score a lot of runs a game, but they've left so many men on base and so many men in scoring position that might be a problem down the road.
Yeah, I've noticed too with this extra inning rule where you got a guy on second base, they always find a way to squander their opportunities. They have situations where they load the bases with one out or even no outs at times, and then just don't really capitalize on it. That's been a big problem. I think late in games, the bullpen's done a decent job. I mean, like we said, we can only expect so much from these young guys. But yeah, just really not finishing games and leaving too many guys on. You're 100% right.
And I think it'll go well against this struggling Diamondbacks team. Their offense is towards the bottom in production, so two opposites there with offense. Same with pitching. Astros are towards the top, and Diamondbacks are towards the bottom of pitching stats. So let's just jump right into Game 1. We got Christian Javier, right-handed pitcher, rookie, number 6 ranked prospect versus a veteran. This is going to be a good matchup, Madison Bumgarner. Javier's coming in after his very first MLB start. I mean, he went 5 2/3. I think 2 hits. One was a dribbler, one was a tank, and 8 strikeouts, correct?
He has 9 on the year. I'm not sure what he
has 9 on the year. I think it was 8 in his 8
strikeouts.
8 in his start. He
Yes.
looked fantastic. I mean, this is the key here is, can he bounce back and get over it? That starts behind him. Now it's time to go back at it, and I think he matches up well against this Diamondbacks lineup. Let's go into the Astros lineup, though. They're coming in. They had a pretty good series against the Angels. They had some opportunities that they didn't hit on. George Springer is starting to heat up again. He's going to be batting leadoff, playing center field. Jose Altuve is still struggling. He's going to stay in the 2 spot, playing second base. We got Alex Bregman batting 3-hole, playing third. He's been kind of good and bad. He really hasn't slumped. He just hasn't played to his potential. Batting 4-hole with Brantley day-to-day with a quad injury. Yuli will be playing first base, batting cleanup. Carlos Correa, who's been pretty consistent throughout the years, batting 5-hole, playing shortstop. Josh Reddick in right field, batting 6th. Abraham Toro going to be as a DH spot in the 7-hole. He hasn't hit very well, but he hasn't had a lot of opportunities to actually get multiple at-bats in a game. 8-hole, Kyle Tucker, who's been hitting the ball really hard, just sometimes he's not putting together great at-bats, and Martin Maldonado catching, as always, batting in the 9-hole.
Before you go on, yeah, I was literally fixing to say that, man. Before you go on to Arizona, I'm actually not a big fan of this lineup anymore. I've talked about this with over the past couple of days with some friends. Kind of just thinking how this lineup is and what they used to be and what they are going to be moving forward. Man, I hate to say it. I don't really want to see George in that leadoff spot no more. I think switching up might be good. I have a kind of a proposed lineup, at least for the top 5, maybe.
Okay.
And let's say Brantley's in the lineup. I'd like to see Altuve leading off, Bregman at the 2-hole, George at the 3-hole, maybe Correa at the 4-hole, and Brantley in the 5-hole. And then from there, Yuli, Reddick, or Tucker, either or I guess either or, doesn't really matter. I'd like to kind of go back to the old days. I mean, we used to remember Altuve hitting in the leadoff spot. Correa was our cleanup guy. I'd like to see something different. I don't know. I think George needs to get that leadoff spot, maybe find a new place, because as of now, man, it's not really working for him. Maybe just switch it up and get a different feel for it.
And the one thing I don't like about this lineup is kind of after Reddick, it's dead. 7, 8, 9 is pretty dead. I mean, Martin Maldonado has 6 RBIs on the year, but
Not a
we
huge
know
threat.
he's not a big guy to trust.
Yeah.
Kyle Tucker's been hitting the ball hard, like I said, but his just at bats are not good, man. He's got a big swing, long swing, and he just looks lost sometimes, and he can get fooled really easily. And then Abraham Toro, not a lot of opportunities, but just not productive in those opportunities. So we need Jordan back. We say it every episode. That'll help a lot. Brantley back in the lineup will make this lineup so much stronger. And then, Tucker's just got to have better at bats. I think he'll be better at the bottom of the lineup, less pressure.
Yeah.
Probably going to see.
He's still young.
We know that pitchers like to throw all their pitches now. It's not once you get to the bottom of the lineup, use your fastball because they know you know they can't hurt you. He's going to see a lot more breaking balls, but it's going to be a lot less pressure batting in the A-hole.
Absolutely, man. He's still a young guy, like I said. No need to rush him at all, but definitely a lot less pressure. But yeah, I really would be up for seeing the lineup get switched around. Get George at that leadoff spot, flip things around, put Bregman in the 2-hole, just kind of get a different feel.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I mean, off the lineup, I'm excited to see what Javier can do in his second start. I think he'll be good. He's just got to have the same game plan, be able to throw his breaking ball for strikes, be able to throw it out of the zone when he wants, and spot up his fastball. That's really what he did really well. And if he can figure out the changeup too,
he's good.
You might see 0 hits in that hit column instead of 2.
And he's going against a Bumgarner who is not the Bumgarner of early years. No. He's getting up there. He's been in the league for over 10 years already. Had a decent first start with Arizona, but still not the same Bumgarner.
Yeah, so on that side, Arizona is going to roll out Bumgarner, who is 0-1 with a 4.09 ERA and 9 strikeouts. So, I mean, respectable, but the biggest problem is his fastball velocity is averaging around 87.9, 88 miles an hour, which he's not happy about, and it's not going to work for him. He needs to be that guy that's throwing low to mid 9s again to be dominant. And if he can figure, I don't know what it is. I think it's just age. He's aging maybe.
He's tacked on so many innings. I mean, all these postseasons he's been involved in, he's played in a lot of games, thrown a lot of innings every season. It's just taxing on innings. I mean, I kind of look at him the same way I look at Felix Hernandez. Guys that both got in the league at a very young age. They're still young, but they're veterans. They've been around for a while. And if you've been around that long, you're going to put some mileage on that arm.
Yeah, so I think he just really needs to change how he pitches now. He doesn't have the velo to blow by people, so he may need to switch some things up. That's not on me. That's obviously on him and the Diamondbacks. But this lineup, though,
adapt or die,
is not producing well, but they still have some studs. So I'm just going to run through their lineup for this game one. Ketel Marte, switch hitting second baseman, batting 308 on the year. He can stroke it, dude. He can hit really well. Cole Calhoun, which was a huge free agent pickup for him. Playing right field, batting 2-hole. He's only batting 167 on the year, but he's still a dangerous left-handed presence in that lineup. Starling Marte, which was another big free agent pickup, playing center field, batting 3-hole. He's a great hitter. Christian Walker got a little pop in the 4-hole, playing first base. Eduardo Escobar, who is trying to repeat what he did the last couple years. I don't know if he will. He's just got he's not hitting the ball well right now. Batting 5-hole. David Peralta, DH, left-handed hitter. Batting 6-hole. He's just another veteran bat for him to have in there. Carson Kelly, veteran catcher, batting 7. This guy just got called up right here. Dalton Varsho. He's playing left field and batting 8th, but I'm pretty sure he can play. Can he play catcher? I need a Jamie on this, man, because I swear I saw when they called him up, he can catch and maybe play some infield.
Yeah, not sure who that guy even is, to be honest with you.
He's one of their I don't know if he's their top prospect, but they're bringing him up. Okay. That's something that we need to look out for, because this lineup hasn't faced Javier before, and Javier and our pitching staff hasn't faced this rookie. So he might have a breakout day. We'll see. And then, got a decent defensive shortstop in Nick Ahmed, batting 9-hole, round up that lineup. That lineup isn't as dangerous as the Astros, not even close, but they still have pieces. And that's what makes me kind of surprised that they are towards the bottom in offensive production.
Absolutely. You still got to look out for the top 4 guys, though. Even maybe top 5. Escobar is starting off the season on a low note, hitting 132. But got to give some love to Marte. Got to live both Martes, actually. Got to give love to both of them. And then Christian Walker, a guy who had probably one of his first full season last year, 29 bombs, 73 RBIs, 86 runs, 137 hits, 825 OPS. I mean, he had a good full season last year to start off the year this year already. No bombs on the year yet, but 6 RBIs, 11 hits, a 790 OPS, 314 average. Started off on a good note. He's a very fearful bat hitting in that cleanup spot for Arizona.
Yeah. So looking at the matchups here, like I said, Arizona hasn't faced Javier. Nobody's faced him, so they don't have any stats on him. It's going to be interesting to see how he works and how this lineup adjusts to him.
Mm-hmm.
But the Astros versus Bumgarner, it's interesting. I'm looking at it right now. 4 at bats from Altuve, batting 500. No tanks, no RBIs. Bregman's 0 for 4. Carlos Correa's 0 for 4. Dustin Garneau has faced him the most with 8 at bats, 1 RBI, but only batting $125. Yuli's 1 for 3. It looks like 3 at bats.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Maldonado's 0 for 2, and then Josh Reddick is 1 for 3 as well. So you got some success. You don't have a middle ground there. We got 3 guys that have hit him well, and we got 4 guys that have not hit him well at all. So what do you expect to see from this lineup?
Facing off against Bumgarner, if he's still throwing those 87, 88 mile an hour fastballs, attacking early, get him the hell out of the game. Obviously Altuve needs to heat up. Correa's been fine. I'm not too concerned about Correa and these guys, but I need to see more productivity out of Altuve. Bregman, on the other hand, I thought he hit the ball pretty well against LA. He did. It seemed to find everybody's glove in the outfield. He had some good line drives, some good deep shots. You can kind of feel that he's getting a little bit of his groove back, but still, I got to see Bregman doing better.
Yeah, I agree. My guy to look out for before we go into game 2 is, I'm going to say, Christian Javier. I think just what he did last game against the Dodgers, if he can replicate that, he can win this game single-handedly.
And my guy to look out for this first game, and I guess for the series in general, Christian Walker on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, got some pop.
So moving on to game 2, pretty good matchup. If I must say, we got Lance Mccallers on the season 1-0, a 5.40 ERA with 10 Ks. He struggled a little bit against LA.
Mm-hmm.
Had an inning where he gave up some big runs. But you can't knock Mccallers off just yet. He's going to be the ace of this rotation. He's got to be the guy that's going to lead us through this. He's facing off against Robbie Ray, who on the season so far, man, not looking good. 0-2, 8.64 ERA with 11 Ks. Robbie Ray's a weird one, man, because he had a really good summer camp, but these first 2 starts of the season, he's just been struggling. He's had problems with command. He walked a career high 6 guys at last out his last inning, his last outing against LA. He went 4 2/3 innings, so command's an issue with Robbie Ray at the moment. But this could be a good matchup. We got 2 guys who are former All-Stars, 2 young guys too. Even though we even said before this, Robbie Ray looks like he's got some age on him. But yeah, we're just really looking forward to seeing this matchup.
Yeah, I'm excited to see McCullers bounce back again. I just think it was the walks that he had some problems with. He was struggling to command the ball, walk 4 guys, and I think that command struggle also caused him to give up 6 hits in his 4? Did he have? He only went 4 or 5 innings, right?
I think he went 4 because Belek went 2 after him.
Yeah, it's just the command it's always been the command for McCullers. That's just it's always reoccurring. So.
But when he's on, man, he's on.
I know. That's the thing. I've noticed.
Sucks. Yeah.
So he got hurt. Had to go. I mean, he's had elbow problems in the past. Had Tommy John. Had elbow problems before he had Tommy John.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see much of a mechanical change. His arm path is still super long, and sometimes he's not very consistent with it. And I think that's the key. Is if he can get consistent with the arm path, everything's just going to come together. That doesn't mean shortening up and throwing like as short as Joe Kelly does or Lucas Giolito, but he gets super long and that causes him to be off timing. And, I'm sure he's aware of what he's doing wrong. And if he can fix it and get those walks down, he'd be good.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. On this side, we got Altuve's a great matchup against Ray. He's hitting a lifetime 625 of them in 8 at bats. I'd love to see something from Jose. On the other side, Stephen Vogt, man. I mean, he was in the starting lineup, but a 600 average, 10 at bats. He's got a bomb off him with 2 RBIs against Mccallers. So maybe someone to look out for coming in late.
Yeah, this matchup is a little bit different than the first one. These guys, it looks like they've been hit around by each other in their chances. Other than Cole Calhoun, he's struggled mightily against Mccallers, but he's seen them the most. So his numbers might be a little bit lower. But yeah, I mean, who are you looking out for in the second matchup? Are we going with starting pitching again, or
this
looking for somebody in the lineup to pick it up?
I think this is gonna be a pitching duel. I mean, both
Mhm.
these guys have had some command issues the past couple starts they went out there. But
Yep.
yeah, this might be a pitching game for sure.
Yeah. I think the Astros.
As always, looking for Lance to go at least 6.
I know
I mean, it's
we need him to, especially with. I mean, as soon we haven't talked about this yet. As soon as out, probably going to need Tommy John.
yeah,
But Fernando Rodney should be with the team soon. Blake Taylor has been lights out, which is perfect for what's going on right now. But I'm looking for. I think game 1 the Astros are probably going to take that, and I think game 2 they could take it.
yeah,
I
I
just
agree.
think lineup's better. I think pitching is going to be a little bit more consistent. And going into game 3, that sets up Greinke to kind of shut the door and get us a sweep. He had a great start his last outing until the very last inning. I mean, he was throwing a perfect game until the 6th inning, and then it fell apart, and he gave up 3 in that inning.
I think 2.
2?
Pretty sure 2.
I should have had it pulled up, but all I remember is him going all the way to the 6th, and I thought he was going to keep rolling.
Against LA, last outing, 5.2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned with 4 strikeouts. Yeah, he looked good. I thought he looked good leading up to then. He tricked some guys with his Evis pitch. But yeah, it's Greinke. Probably didn't affect him at all. Probably just walked off the mound, went into the dugout, sat by himself, and talked to himself a little bit. But
he was super effective. He just started to get squeezed towards the end, and then started to miss over the middle of the plate. Which with his velo, he can't be doing that.
No,
he'll be facing right-handed pitching Zach Gallen, who has had a fantastic year so far. 2.7 ERA with 15 Ks. He says here he throws a lot more strikes than the previous 2 we mentioned, Robbie Ray and Madison Bumgarner, and I'm sure he's not living at that 88, 89 mile an hour range. I don't have his velo off the top of my head, but I would assume with that amount of strikeouts right there, he gave up 2 runs over 6 innings against the Dodgers with 9 strikeouts. So I think he's got some good stuff. I haven't seen him pitch. So
I saw the highlights of him against the LA game. He's a good dude. He's a good young pitcher. I would say this is going to be a clean sweep, but this third game is going to be real difficult facing Gallen. I mean, you look at his season last year, 1-3, a 2.72 ERA. Wins don't matter. We've said it before, man. But 7 games started. Through 36.1 innings with 43 strikeouts, whips a little bit over 1, but it's looking like he's repeating the same thing this year, man. I mean, he's a guy that's effective. Like I said, when I saw him in the highlights facing LA, effective, extremely effective, good stuff. I think he's one of the guys to look out for Cy Young contenders in preseason. I'm pretty sure his name was on that list.
Okay.
But yeah, just a good arm for Arizona. This third one's going to be a tough one.
Astros haven't faced Zach Gallen, so that's going to be interesting. Diamondbacks have faced Greinke, and for the most part, they've hit him pretty well. 500 batting 500 is Nick Ahmed. He's not a guy you really look for a bat, but in 6 at bats, he's batting 500. Cole Calhoun is batting 667 and 15 ABs. John Jay, I didn't even realize John Jay was still with the Diamondbacks. He's not batting too hot versus Greinke. Jake Lamb's not a big guy to look for in this matchup, but Stephen Vogt again, batting 500, only 2 ABs, but the old guy can get it done.
Yeah, actually, this is crazy because he came from Arizona. I mean, this might be something too where Greinke feels comfortable. He's back in his old stomping grounds. I mean, he had 3 really good seasons at Arizona where he won over 13 games for all 3 seasons. Put up a lot of good innings for him. This might be a welcome and home thing, and he feels comfortable on that mound, and we get a clean sweep, hopefully.
Yeah, I think if Javier can do anything close to what he did and in his first start in this game, we'll win that game. Lance Mccallers, I just like the matchup better against Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray hasn't been good, and then game 3, like you said, it's going to be the interesting matchup because Greinke's good, but Zach Gallen's been really good as well, and the Astros haven't faced him, so that might be a little bit of a battle. The biggest thing, so I wanted to talk about like who I'm looking for as like the MVP for this series. I think the biggest key is going to be the Astros bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Losing depth. I mean, Presley was kind of scaring me because he had like a blister or nail issue on his thumb, but he was shaking his arm a lot, like his elbow was bothering him. So that kind of scared me. But if the rookies can hold it down again, we're looking at possibly a sweep.
Yeah, I'm looking for some more Blake Taylor action. I want to see that man go out there and do his thing. He's been a stud.
He might start working towards the back end. He might be the guy out of the pen to get us out of a jam and just keep us rolling because I think he's got the nuts to do it so far.
That 8th inning roll, that setup roll.
I mean, because as soon as going to be out. I'm assuming Fernando Rodney and Blake Taylor will probably towards the end once Rodney's ready to go. But I mean, that's what I'm looking for there.
Yeah, dude, we're dealing with young guys, man. I've been proud of them so far this year. I think they've done a great job. I'm just more disappointed so far this season in the production off of guys like Altuve and Bregman. It's only been 9 games. Obviously, you can't really tell too much in 9, but 60-game season, man. We got to start seeing some production out of these guys for sure.
Yep.
Overall, though, not too concerned about this series against Arizona.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a better matchup.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, so game 1 is 8:10 Central. We're going to tune into that in about, by the time people start listening to this, game's going to start. But we're about to tune into that. In the next week or so, once game 15 hits, we're going to do an OTS update on the whole season. It's not just going to be Astros, so we'll kind of do a recap of the whole season there. And then be on the lookout for some other small OTS projects that'll be popping up. But we thank you all for tuning in. As always, follow us on Twitter at OTS Baseball. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's On the Screws, and then we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
See ya.